Goya.
Goya is Mexican for
Goya.
which to you at home, because of the way this camera's set up, Ayog.
Ayog. Look at that.
Which is really
Ayog.
Goya. See, actually, you should be watching this through a mirror.
Yeah, just put put whatever you're watching, phone, computer, laptop, iPad, whatever, against the mirror and look at it through the mirror.
Coconut water, folks, with pulp. Meaning
coconut
little
bits.
pieces of coconut.
Yeah.
This is a delicious, refreshing drink that instantly quenches your thirst,
I love
replenishes your fluids and electrolytes. Maybe.
Electrolytes.
Goya.
Now,
Goya makes many good, fine Mexican products, like rice, beans, refried beans, nacho cheese. Goya just makes tons of stuff.
Yeah.
If you remember, Donald Trump, when he was president, did something with Goya to feed thousands, but like these groups were mad that they associated with Trump, and they wanted to ban Goya products. Like they wanted people to not buy Goya. They wanted to put like a 100-year-old company out of business because they fed thousands of people under Donald Trump's presidency. So how'd that work out, by the way? It didn't work out because people still love Goya and they still eat their products, and they said, the heck with banning Goya.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's Goya, but we call it Goya.
I'm sure if the Goya family is watching somehow, anyone related to the Goya family, we love your products. Can you please make us rich? Just, even $1 million would do wonders for us.
Or just give us a life supply of this.
Oh, yeah, give us a life supply of Goya foods. Let us open a Goya restaurant. How's that sound?
Yeah.
We'll call the restaurant Goya.
Goya Restaurant.
Yeah. And oh my God. Goya, please, if you're watching, anyone from Goya, please give us the money to open the restaurant. We'll split it a fair percentage.
50-50.
50-50.
And then me and him
and
get
we do
25.
all the work. And you guys just make the money.
Yeah.
And we sell your Goya food products in the restaurant.
It's amazing.
That's a proposition. Please, Goya. Ayog. Please.
Now, what do we talk about today? Let's talk about school stories and
Rice Krispie treats. No. No more brand products.
I was going to grab a box of those. We didn't want to get copyrighted.
Yeah, all right.
How about we grab this instead?
That blue doll was won by Blake at a Walmart crane game.
About 4 or 5.
$20 later, he had it.
Those things are a scam, let me tell you. They're a scam.
But you do eventually win, but you got to put like $10 to $20 in.
Until
he actually won 2 bears in the same day.
I can't find the
other
one. A
blue and a purple bear.
Yeah, this is the blue. Where's the purple one?
Believe it or not, we have that on videotape.
Yes, we haven't uploaded it yet, even though it was like 5 years ago.
That's 5 years. It's going to be a Blake and Zep show, which, by the way, that's our other channel, Blake and Zep Show. Please check it out. We have a lot more variety, a lot more editing, a lot more dramatism.
Dramatism.
Yes. Anyway, Thank's going to talk about school stories, and then I'll just chime in.
What are you going to talk about?
Whatever I think of based on your...
Okay.
Yeah, but Blake has a joke. We just got done watching the movie Black Sunday.
Yes.
The movie 1977, not the Italian horror film Black Sunday.
No.
But this was the movie that we watched was with Robert Shaw, the guy from Jaws.
It was a super
Hoopa! Brody! No, I mean, 2 barrels and it's still not down. 2 barrels, 3 barrels. Jaws. Anyway, Robert Shaw and a bunch of other people were in it. Bruce Dern, my favorite guy, and Martha Keller, who you have no idea who Martha Keller is.
Nope.
But Black Sunday, it's about the Pittsburgh Steelers and Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl in the 70s and a terrorist group that was going to use a blimp to kill people and how the government had to stop it. It is a epic movie for 1970.
That's all we're going to say about that.
Yeah. That's it. But now the joke has to do with Jaws and Robert Shaw. Now, if you remember Jaws and Robert Shaw, you remember he was the captain of the boat and certain things, spoiler alert.
He dies.
But by the shark.
By the shark.
But now the joke is this.
If you watch Jaws in reverse, it's a loving story about a shark who gives arms and legs and bodily fluids to disabled people.
Yeah. If you watch Jaws backwards, it's actually a heartwarming story about a shark who gives legs to legless people and arms to armless people.
Yes.
It's
an amazing story.
So watch Jaws in reverse so you can see a kind shark giving back someone his legs.
I love it. I love
That's
it.
a great joke.
I love it. Now, school stories.
School.
4th grade. I'm currently in 9th. Fourth grade. I was in a violin class, and I was the only boy in that class. It was weird. The teacher was female, and every other classmate was a girl. Anyway, I was heading to class one day. I was in a real happy mood as usual, singing stuff, and I was singing a song, Let's Go, Oreo, let's go. And I had my violin case in my right hand, and I walked into the classroom singing it, Let's Go, and I didn't even finish 2 words before the violin case hit against the wall, reflecting the case, hitting my leg, making me fall on the floor.
Tackled by violin.
Yes, let's go.
And then you said the whole class just looked over.
Everyone was already there, too. I was like the last one to arrive,
God.
too. It was so embarrassing and fun. And the whole class laughed, too. None of them were mean about it. They all laughed.
That's very
It was
funny.
very funny. Very funny.
That's a great story because it's like an embarrassing story then. You feel so embarrassed.
But now...
Like now you're like, it's funny to think back on those days. That's like we had fake elections in school. I forget what grade it was, but they were like, you're going to have to run for something. And I don't know, I ended up like running for sheriff. It was really strange.
Sheriff!
So we had to give this speech. And I left my teacher speechless with my speech. Because I wanted to play it for fun and parody and humor and black comedy. So I was like, you elect me sheriff. Because I had this like southern accent. Like, you elect me sheriff. I'm going to have all of us being allowed to carry guns. So if any gun gets out of line, you just shoot them. And that'll be fine. And so I was like this redneck sheriff that wanted everyone to carry guns and have martial law and have like pig cookout. We're going to have a big swine cookout.
Swine cookout.
If you vote for me. So I got like 1 vote. Everyone took me seriously in the class.
Why?
They're like, this guy's a psycho. I'm not electing him sheriff. I thought everyone would say, this guy's genius, his humor. And
Oh.
another friend of mine ran for office something. I think it was mayor, and he could do the perfect like John Rambo impersonation. So he pretended to be Rambo, which I thought was genius. He's like, you elect me, we're gonna fight and we're gonna win. I was like, John Rambo. Yeah.
What grade was it?
I think this was like up in high school, like 9th, 10th grade, something like that.
Well, who voted for you? Who's the one vote?
Probably my friend, like Keith Enan or somebody.
He was a real person, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, I shouldn't have used that name. People track him to try to get to me.
How do people track people's last names?
I
They don't know
don't
who he
know.
looks like either.
That's true.
They don't know where he lives. They don't know the county, the state.
Oh, you'd
I
be
don't
surprised
get
what
that,
the internet could
That's
reveal.
true.
But anyway,
Anyway,
those school stories are very funny.
Yes.
Very funny.
I'm trying to think of some more stories.
Yeah, it's hard when you're
Okay.
pressed.
Yes, here's another one. So, for some reason, I don't know why, I had a speech class, even though my speech, the way I talked, was perfectly fine. Everyone around me said, your speech is perfect. I don't know why they have you in that class. Anyway, so one day, the teacher was running late to class, right? And so I was in the classroom with 2 other kids, and they had the idea for me to hide behind some filing cabinet and wait for the teacher to show up and be like, where's Blake? And then I came around, and we had a plan for me to come around the filing cabinet and just like walk around and say, here I am.
Oh my goodness.
But it was like 20 minutes later, and she never arrived.
Oh, that's funny.
And I
So you're just waiting.
I was just waiting behind her for 20 minutes. And then we left the class to go and find her. We were roaming the hallways to go and find her, and we finally found her and was like, I forget what happened next. I forget what happened.
What happens next is the scariest part of the story.
I know it's not.
She grew nails and came at them and said,
it turns out she was late because she was doing some witchcraft or whatever.
Yeah, witchcraft.
Yeah, but it's not that funny, but it was funny to me because if I was the teacher walking in, it was like, "Where's Blake?" And then he came around the corner. I'd think that's funny.
I mean, it's funny because you wanted to do a joke on your. I have 3 stories. That triggered 3 stories about teachers.
Really?
I got to tell they're very fun.
Tell 2 today and then save the other one.
I'll never be able to remember.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the 3 stories I have to tell you. I don't even know where to start, but I'll start with my 5th grade teacher and work backwards. 5th grade, I had a great teacher named Mr. O'Toole. He was a gym teacher, but he was also a homeroom teacher. And when I got his homeroom, I was ecstatic because he loved me. He used to call me Captain Willie after this baseball player, Willie Stargell. He used to, because when I went up to bat once in gym class, I was doing like this Willie Stargell string. And he's like, "Hey, Captain Willie." And he loved me. And I respected him so much. I never wanted to disappoint him. So there was these twins called Steve and Sean blah blah. I don't want to give their names out. And for some reason, we were locking them out of the class, like closing the door on them so they couldn't get in. And I wasn't even part of this. Someone else was doing this. But I knew it was Steve and Sean outside. So I'm like this. Oh, they're not going to get that door open. So I put all my weight in holding the classroom door closed on them. And I'm saying they're not getting in. And all the class in the room was like, yeah, because I wasn't letting them in. All of a sudden, this incredible strength. I'm like, how do they have this strength? And I went flying forward, and it was my teacher, Mr. O'Toole. He was like an athletic guy. He was a gym teacher. His strength pulled me off of my feet out the door. And then he saw it was me, and he was raging mad because for a second there, he couldn't get the door open on me.
Yeah.
My weight was actually holding him, and he's probably thinking, who the hell was holding this door? And he's so strong, he finally got it open, and he's like, sit down! And fire shot out of his eye. Well, at least it seemed that way. I was heartbroken. I disappointed the teacher I loved the most at that school. This guy, I looked up to him so much, and I was embarrassed. I embarrassed myself in front of him.
Yeah.
I let him down. Now, going back to 4th grade, Sister Irma. I was in a Catholic school, okay? And they used to like do a lot of things to kids with rollers, hit their hands, pull their hair.
Nowadays you can get arrested.
Yeah, Sister Irma was known to pull hair. She pulled hair so hard, a week later you'd have pain. You'd be like, oh my follicles. I mean, this woman used to pull your hair like, she'd be like this. What is the answer? Sorry, sister, I got lost on the page. I was trying. Sister Irma, and she looked like a bulldog. Literally, like she was a nun. She had like a nun outfit on with a bulldog face.
That scared me.
Sorry.
Do that again.
No. Now, someone in this place is going to think we have a dog.
Because again, we're living in a pub.
Yeah, but anyway, Sister Irma. So one day, two things happened to me with Sister Irma. One, I had goldfish I brought in for show and tell. And goldfish have to breathe air, believe it or not. They come to the top and breathe air. So I had the jar I brought the goldfish in closed, and I forgot to take the jar off. So I knew my goldfish were probably dying in the other room where I had the show and tell. So I was like, Sister Irma. She's like, yes. And I was like, sister, wait. I go, I brought goldfish in for show and tell, and if I don't take the lid off, they're going to die. And I was thinking she was going to say, now. Or she was going to pull my hair just for no reason. So I thought for sure I was going to be like, But anyway, she goes, all right. I was like, really? So I went, and when I went in the room, the goldfish were all at the top trying to breathe. And I unscrewed the lid, and I saved my goldfish.
How many of them were there?
Like 3, 2, whatever. So it was in a mason jar. I had my goldfish in a mason jar. But anyway, the other part of the Sister Irma story was one day I'm in class, and I feel this like itch on my arm, and there's a bee crawling up my arm, and I just froze. I was like, "This is Sister Irma. There's a bee on my arm." And she just got this like this rag she had for wiping off the chalkboard, and she went like, and she killed the bee on my arm. And I'm like, I thought I was going to be stung for sure. And then I was like, thanks, sister.
Did you do that noise again on my arm?
Well, like when she went, ha ha. But anyway, my mother yelled at a nun for pulling my hair. She's like, you pull his hair so hard, he's feeling pain a week later. Do not touch my son. Do not touch my son. And she was my mother. Was yelling at a nun. It was crazy. I couldn't believe my eye. But now going back to third grade, Mrs. Dixon, she was this older, thin woman that if you misbehaved, this is in third grade, she'd put you under her desk and take her shoes off.
Ew.
And she had like these nylon stockings and her feet would be like cheese, like bad cheese.
This is third grade. You guys are like 10.
Yeah, so like you never misbehaved in her classmate because you don't want to end up in like the dungeon of like darkness and her cheesy feet. But under her, like she put, like, get under my desk. Like, no, God, please, not the desk. Get under my desk. Yes, Mrs. Dixon. Every kid would obey her, too. Like, yes, Mrs. Dixon.
Couldn't you just do this?
So my one friend, you could, but it was hell in there. Luckily, I never went under her desk. I was a good boy. Anyway, I'm in class one day, and my friend's father walks in. And this is my friend who had been under her desk a couple times. And she's like, who are you? He's like, I'm Mr. Kelly, and I want to talk to you about my son. You don't put him under your desk so he can smell your cheesy feet. And all of us in the classroom were like...
He said cheesy.
Yeah, he did. And then she just answered him back, how dare you tell me how to do... And the two of them were like yelling in each other's faces like a foot away. Like
do it to me.
I can't. Like,
that probably looked amazing on camera.
And then the rest of the class, we were all just stunned. Third grade, remind you, we're very young. We're just like, is this actually happening? Is Mrs. Dixon getting reamed out by like a parent? And is he getting yelled at by her? It was amazing. Amazing.
How did it end out? How did it end?
I just remember him walking out the door, and my friend...
Did she ever do it again to any kids?
I don't remember. That's the weird thing. When you have third grade memories,
yeah.
You don't. But I have 1,000 stories. I mean, like fourth grade spelling bee, it was a substitute teacher, so we decided to do the spelling, like spinning around, like whatever the word was. You know, we'd be like, cat, C, and then we'd spin A, T, and me and like 3 other guys did the whole spelling bee spinning while we did our So she told the nun, who was our real teacher, the substitute, told the nun that we were acting up in class. Oh. She wrote our names down, and we were spinning around. So the nun, who was a different nun named Sister Ursus, like the ape in Planet of the Apes, beneath the Planet of the Apes, General Ursus, the ape. Her name was Sister Ursus. She goes, you like to spin around, eh? Now you can spin until I say stop. We're like, what? What? They're like, spin. So the 4 of us are in the back of the classroom turning around, and she's not telling us to stop. And then finally she goes, that's enough. And we were so dizzy from spinning around, we went flying into like desks, knocking desks out. I went flying into the lockers, and she goes, you're still misbehaving. And I'm like, sister, I can't help it. We're so dizzy. Like she had never spun around in her life.
She had no idea what dizzy meant.
Yeah, so she didn't understand it. You get dizzy when you spin around. So she blamed us for for still acting up. So then she made us hold 3 Bibles on our knees, like, I can't take it. I mean, this is like...
Bibles.
You ever see the movie Cool Hand Luke where Paul Newman is just being tortured by... This is like the nuns at my Catholic school. They would like torture... Like, what we got here is failure to communicate. Hold the Bibles. Oh. But anyway, I think I've run out of stories, but that just goes to show
let me just say
if you went to Catholic school in the 70s, 80s a little bit, you got stories about Catholic school, let me tell you.
Now let me tell you something else. Why is that person's big head on the TV? Did you see that?
No.
Like this person's head just enlarged.
I'm sorry we can't show you this, but I will rewind to get a Oh my God. There's a person that's like a normal sized person on a cartoon. Their head just got 8 times bigger to ask a question. And that's the world of television cartoons.
That's the world of the Owl House.
The Owl House.
Owl
Not
House.
meaning ow, I hurt my toe.
Like the owl.
Ow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's the story. That's the world of the Owl House.
So, I mean, Blake, luckily you were spared a lot of these incidents at Catholic school. But I wouldn't trade those days for anything.
No.
There were fantastic teachers at that school. Yeah. I will name some by name. Mr. Danchek, the music teacher. Mr. Finnegan. Mrs. Qualters. Mr. O'Toole, who I mentioned. And the nuns were good. I mean, every nun, though, had a fear factor. Sister Mary Carroll in 8th grade, she had a fear.
What did she do?
My one friend didn't know the answer to a math problem, so she kept she had the book in front of his face and answer. And he's like, He didn't know what to say. So she would slap the book up in his face. Answer. And he'd be like, And she did it 5 times. And then I was laughing my head because he's 8th grade. You know, when you're in 8th grade, you can take all that stuff. You're just you're laughing inside.
Yeah. Nowadays, they would get arrested or fined for hundreds of dollars. But
the principal of that school loved me. She was a nun, Sister Barbara Ann. I think, Barbara Ann. She loved me.
But let me tell you something. I would not take any of those punishments. If someone said, sit under my desk and smell my feet, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. I transfer out of this class right now. If someone said to spin around until they said stop, no.
Yeah, but see, your parents wanted you in that Catholic school. They were paying for it. But, I mean, this one kid didn't take it. He didn't take abuse from one of the teachers. He grabbed her. This was scary. I was very afraid of what would happen. He grabbed her sweater and pulled it so stretchily that the woman's sweater was ruined. It was oblong the rest of the day. And he was kicked out of the school, man. He was gone.
Did you ever see him again?
I saw him in high school, yeah.
What was his name?
I can't go into names on that, but I mean that's he's passed away now. Actually, that kid. I did hear that he passed away, but yeah, he that was a scary incident because he just was a violent. He didn't take it. He fought back, and the teacher was shocked, and she might have wanted to. She was a young, not nun, girl teacher at our school. She probably wanted to get out of teaching.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was so afraid. And her husband was probably I'll kill the kid that did that to you.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I told you some funny stories, but that was a serious incident there.
Yeah.
When you abuse children, that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could never get away with that in other schools because,
especially
like I said,
nowadays,
kids might fight back.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if this is true or not, but my first day of 4th grade, I was the new kid because I transferred schools. I'm not going to get into any details. Not that it's super big and scary or whatever, but yeah. New kid at the school, and apparently another kid was new at the school.
Oh,
and I was like, hey, how are you? And they're like, I'm new here. Who are you? And I was like, I'm new here too. Oh. So why did you transfer? And then I don't know how true this was, but he said he punched his gym teacher in the face and got expelled and had to transfer schools.
Oh, I guess I never heard that.
I don't know how true that is. Maybe he was lying. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder. But then again, why would he tell you that unless he was trying to say, hey, I'm a tough guy.
Maybe he was trying to scare me.
You actually knew kids from that district from KinderCare. Because
that's,
strangely enough, KinderCare, you could go to any district. So
yeah.
He knew a lot of the kids from that school that he would see again. But, he's made some of his best friends at this new school. So even transferring in 4th grade, it's possible to make new friends. I mean, I think it would be harder maybe, hopefully 10th, 11th, you get to stay with your friends that you've known for so many years.
Oh, hopefully.
But I mean, you still probably have friends from the old, you do have a couple friends from the old school.
Yeah.
That's great. One of the friends of his, I won't name names again because they're minors, but he was, they work in the coal mine. He was in the that was a little joke I slipped in. But no, we were at a birthday party for Blake in a Grove. And he went to the restroom, and he just was singing away in the bathroom. And I happened to go in there to use, not a stall, but, to go. And I hear oh,
I know who you're talking about, but I'm not gonna.
He's a very energetic kid. I always love this kid. He's really funny. So I left, of course, and didn't say a word. I left him to his singing. But I joked with Blake that I should have gone in there and said, like, "Shut up, boy!
Stop all that singing!"
Or like, "Stop that singing, boy!" No, I would never be that mean to do that.
No, but that kid that you mentioned, he is in my school now, but he's at the old school district that I used to be in. But yeah, he didn't transfer to the different school. Wow.
You know what we just saw on television? I have to interrupt. We just saw a Fruity Pebbles volcano.
Oh, yeah.
Someone made a Fruity Pebbles volcano on an actual TV commercial suggesting that there's a way of doing it. You get Fruity Pebbles and you make this whole entire volcano and it exploded. So I don't know what, maybe on the back of Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles there is a recipe on how to make a volcano. So this is a recent commercial.
Maybe go on YouTube or Google.
Look at your local grocery at Cocoa Pebbles, which are delicious. Make the milk chocolatey. Fruity Pebbles, which are delicious. Make the milk taste like a punch or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it turns color. The milk turns like a weird Pepto-Bismol color without the taste. Pepto-Bismol.
But another cereal that turns milk chocolate is
Cocoa
Puffs.
I think you're right. Yes.
Yeah, with the boat. With the boat on it. You know that, I don't know, orange bird, yellow, I don't know the color of the bird.
All right, so we have this, we thought we'd buy this at Halloween time, which was months ago.
Yes.
Boo Berry cereal, right? And we thought we'd eat it, but we didn't eat it, so it was sealed box. And I said to myself, we should sell this on eBay because
in April.
Some rich kid who wants Boo Berry
in April.
In April or June. Say it's
June.
like
the middle of summer.
Yeah, like imagine having something that you only get at Halloween, but being able to have it in June. So we said we can get like $20 a box. If it's a rich kid, we could get like $50 for a box of cereal. So we're in the store the other day, and there's Boo Berry on the shelf for like $3. We're like, huh?
That's out of the question.
They must make it year round or so. So now, so much for the supply and demand.
Now, were we at what store is that? CVS?
It might have been a CVS.
No, that day I didn't film it. I wish I did.
I'm glad you didn't film.
But so Zep pointed out, hey, look, those Lucky Charms, and I literally said, Zep, those taste like deer ankles. They're disgusting.
Deer ankles.
Deer ankles. And I was like, what if I say that? Because we were buying stuff, and I was like, what if I say that to the cashier up there? So when we were checking out, when we were buying stuff, I went up to the cashier, and I said to her, did you know that Lucky Charms tastes exactly like deer ankles? And here's her reaction. She looked at me like...
See, it was like her mind short-circuited for a second.
It like fizzed out. She didn't know what to say.
Yeah, and that was that.
Her brain was fried.
It was like a joke that only you get.
Yes.
It's your dark sense of humor. Like you were buying a different cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
which is A+.
Yeah,
by the way.
And then he said, you know what?
I'm gonna say
Lucky Charms
taste exactly like deer ankles. And my grandmother said, "Don't pay any attention to him."
And I said, he's like Forrest Gump.
For real?
No, I didn't say that, but I would have said. Don't mind it. He's like Forrest Gump. He's like Rain Man. No, he can count. If you drop matches on the floor, he'll tell you exactly.
They're like toothpicks.
Yeah, toothpicks. Sorry, toothpicks. If you drop a box of toothpicks, he'll instantly.
Like 1, 2, 3, 100, 75. How long is this video? 30 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta end it. So we usually would like to be 22 minutes, but.
I like our first one, but we're gonna end it here. Take care. Have a good night or day whenever you're watching this. See you in the next one.